That's a bold person.
All right, we're gonna call this town board meeting to order. The fire exits are outside of that door and at each end of the hall. There is a defibrillator across the hall if one is needed. We'll begin with the pledge of allegiance to the flag and a moment of silence for all deceased residents of Hammond. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we will continue with the invocation from Pastor Chris Foley from St. John Lutheran Church.
Would you please bow your heads with me? Oh Lord and God, we thank you for our town, we thank you for our residents, for our leaders, and for the freedom to meet and to make decisions. And we ask, Lord, that you would give to all here tonight the wisdom, that the decisions that are made would be for the good of this community and for the individuals who are Lord, that you would guide us and keep us. And we ask it in the name of Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thanks, Pastor.
We'll continue with the roll call, please.
Roebuck.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Coco. Here. Jaeger.
Here.
Us.
Here. We're gonna do our public forum, but I thought right now we have a presentation, so we'll get to that first, and then I'll ask if there's anybody else in the audience who wants to speak. But we're doing a presentation from the Smoking and Health Action Coalition.
Yeah, that's us.
That's you.
Yes. What's the best way? You just want us to kind of talk from here and.
If you want, there's a podium you could pull up.
However you want, you can probably stand at least so that people can see.
Don't bump your head.
You can, from right there.
I'm not that tall.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I did print out, I made a PowerPoint but just printed it out. Sorry, I only made 4 copies. So,
Yeah, good.
there's. You guys see the copies well? And we also have some other resources too. Also after we talk about that, because they relate to the discussion, so then I can share them afterwards to make it a little more sense.
Okay,
That's okay.
sure.
Okay. Awesome. So we're the Smoking Health Action Coalition. We are one of New York State's tobacco control grants. Our grant funder is American Lung Association. So we enact the state work plan for the Bureau of Tobacco Control, Department of Health. We're one of 21 grantees across the state that are working on these initiatives and policies. We work on a variety of different initiatives. So tobacco-free outdoors is a big one that encompasses municipalities, but also businesses. The idea there is to keep outdoor spaces secondhand smoke-free, to keep the litter and waste of cigarettes and vapes out of public spaces. We know that vapes are harmful to the environment, not just when they're being used, but also if they're being discarded improperly. That can we have sales, so that could be anything from retail zoning, retail density, tobacco retail licensing. The related idea there is to mitigate the amount of tobacco retailers in a municipality. We know that there's more retailers, we know that the smoking rate is generally lower. Unfortunately for our youth, if they're exposed to these products in marketing, they are more likely to use the products. We then do smoke-free multi-unit housing. So again, the idea there is to reduce the risks of secondhand smoke by keeping those shared indoor spaces smoke-free. Most new builds today are smoke-free when you sign the lease, but there are a couple that are older properties that are not automatically grandfathered in. And then tobacco in the environment, that is a new initiative for us this year. The idea there is to again mitigate the risk of tobacco waste on the environment, and that can include cigarette butts. They are the #1 most ordered item worldwide, and then also any sort of vape waste. As we know, batteries, plastics, nicotine, and heavy metals are in those, which are all harmful to the environment.
All right, so just some insights within Monroe County and surrounding areas. The New York State smoking rate currently is 10%, which is an exciting new stat. It's the first time in a very long time that it's been under or around 10%. Livingston County is a bit higher at 19%, and then we see that Monroe County is at 11.8. So in terms of policies within this area of Monroe County, we can see who has policies and who doesn't. I just picked a couple that are in close proximity to Hamlin. So as we see, Hamlin, according to our research, don't have any policies with respect to outdoors or point of sale. You can see that Hilton has a point of sale policy, the town of Ogden has both, and then the town of Sweden has a tobacco outdoors policy. So just so you can kind of see what neighboring municipalities have on deck already. So kind of looking into the future for the town of Hamlin, as you can see on slide 7, I'm sorry, I'm skipping down, slide 6. As I mentioned, there's no policy found online or in e-code. So then going to slide 7, looking into the future. So adopting a smoke-free policy, as Hannah stated, creating those tobacco-free outdoors policies are very crucial to protecting everyone from secondhand smoke and then protecting the environment as well. So considering that. And then if there is a policy in place, consider including vaping or e-cigarettes in that policy by adding an addendum to it, or making sure you update the definition to include vaping or e-cigarettes. And the next step would be to make sure that it's available online for the public to be aware of and to reference, and it also helps with enforcement if they're educated on policy. And then you would order signs to help with enforcement as well. And that would include the vaping graphic as well to make sure that everyone aware and the public is aware of what the policy entails. And something that we are to do with our grant funds is write up to 12 complimentary signs. So we work with a distributor, a designer out in Webster. So they work with us to create any sign, graphic, verbiage, and all of that to make sure municipalities get the signs that they wish. And then number 5 would be consider a point of sale policy. So as Hannah briefly mentioned, regulating and limiting the number of tobacco retailers that can sell and or that can open and operate within the town limits, and determines how far they are from use on recreation for schools, daycares, playgrounds, and so forth. So then on slide 8, you can see some examples of signage that we've been able to provide to different municipalities. The one on the far left is the town of Brighton. I know that's ways out, but then we also provided one with the town of Ogden. As you can see, there's a cannabis leaf on that. I'll briefly just touch on that. We understand that it goes hand in hand with smoking, of course, but unfortunately, we are strictly tobacco. So we cannot work with municipalities to include that in policies. We can, of course, encourage you to add it as to further protect individuals. But we can't focus directly on that with you. We are then able to help with enforcement by simply adding the cannabis logo onto signs. So it's kind of a little workaround they were able to do to support that. And then a very generic sign that's just, the health and safety of the community, smoke-free, that we provide to workplaces. So then briefly touching upon the retailers, the town of Hamlin has a total of 5 retailers. Only one of them is a novelty smoke shop. The other ones are convenience stores, the Dollar Tree or gas stations. But as you can see on the map, they are very close proximity. They're all within a mile distance right on Lake Road. So it's decently high exposure when you're driving down the road. That's just something to keep in mind. So as you can see, each cigarette would mark where a retailer is.
And something important to note about any sort of retailer policy is existing establishments are grandfathered into any policy that's adopted. What would happen is those retailer policies would prevent any further. So they really work to place either a cap or proximity, whether it's 1,000 feet from another retailer, 1,000 feet from residential zoning, based on your location. You can really kind of customize it to whatever works for the municipality. Just something to note with that when looking at that map is it could limit it to just those 5.
And then the last 2 slides are just examples of policies, just so you guys can read and look over and just consider. So one is the point of sale, so the tobacco retailers. The Village of Hilton has a very good comprehensive policy that they adopted, I believe, last fall. I know the text was very small. I had to screen grab it and make it as big as I could on the slide. And then the outdoor policy for the town of Ogden, which is also very comprehensive as well. And then in terms of the point of sale, I do have an informational sheet that kind of goes over some things that we discussed and also that map again with tobacco shops are. So just something to kind of look over and reference.
Any questions? I know that was a ton of information before.
Another one.
So I thought that we had some kind of smoking policy in that, when I get to go look at it. But I know we had nothing about the vaping or anything, because our policy would be 20 years old before they
Yeah.
started on this vaping.
Yeah, of course. That's what we find. A lot of municipalities think that they have they know they have one, but it's from before vaping was reflected on it. We looked in eco, we weren't able to find anything. So if you're able to find your policy.
It might be just inside the building. It may not, there may not be
It's
a.
that, it's like Walgreens, and you can't smoke inside of them.
Yes,
Okay,
there's
We're
no
not, we
outdoor.
wouldn't tackle.
Well, I thought it was no smoking on
Right,
town
town
campus.
campus.
But I don't believe it's in the code book, but I think it's in the policy.
It might be in the policy. I thought we had signs that actually said it. For, I don't know, around the playground and
There is
stuff.
some out there
There is.
by the driveway.
But I'd have to look at our code.
But we wouldn't go after a point of sale, we wouldn't do that.
No,
Like,
probably
that would be kind of, we would never do that. We're not gonna kind of control the point of sale of tobacco products that we sold in the town.
Update our signs with the vaping and stuff too.
Yeah, we can do that for the.
Right. Our signs around the park.
I understand it can take some time as well, but that would be a great step.
And update our code for about
Yes.
vaping.
Yeah, you definitely want to specifically call out vaping for public health laws. Smoking and vaping are actually two different things, two different behaviors. So if it's not explicitly said as vaping, it doesn't quite encompass that.
Now, does cannabis fall underneath the smoking? Can you smoke cannabis?
I would explicitly call it out because you will get people who argue that cannabis is not smoking, smoking is not vape. Like, people really like to get stuck on the words. So I always think it's better to explicitly say what you want people to want. To leave it to the imagination.
What about e-cigarettes?
Well, if you include vaping, that could just mean, vaping is the actual action of using a e-cigarette. So those can either include cannabis or they can include nicotine. So if you include vaping, you could technically say that means cannabis oils or concentrates. I would probably get specific and say e-cigarette, that would all that out specifically. I believe the Ogden one has that language. And we can also send those via email too, so that you guys,
Yeah.
text us.
Yeah, sorry. Trying to make us sound so
Her copy is in there too.
Yeah. Sometimes the format always happens when I go to print a PowerPoint, for sure. These are errors.
So what would be next step if we decided to change our code or enact a new policy
Yeah.
for getting signage?
So for us to be able to order the signage, we would just have to see a copy of that amended policy or code. Then once we see that, we can go ahead and place the order for signage. And typically, you guys pick out the design sign that you like, you send us any logos you want included on it, we send it over to McAllister, they'll send us a mock, and then we send it to you guys for approval. You give it the okay, to go ahead and print that one.
McAllister signs is a fairly quick turnaround.
Yeah.
They get a design, like a proof of the design very quickly, and then once you get the okay to manufacture them, it's like 50 days.
Yeah.
I'll pick them up and then drop them off to whoever would accept them.
Now, are they free, did you say, or is there?
Our program can cover up to 12. So that would agree that if you guys want more than that, we would just set you up with McAllister, and they would take care of that.
No, I know right now, because Monroe County has a sign shop.
Oh.
So the town of Hamlin orders, we order our signs from Monroe County.
Oh, I see, okay.
They
Yeah.
right there at the fleet center on, Paul,
I guess it's the enforcement.
over by the airport. They
Oh,
have,
okay.
they have their,
Enforcement.
Well, yeah, because I'll give you an example. I work in the city, you go to Constable Park at lunchtime,
Yep.
they're all out there smoking weed,
Oh, yeah.
they're all out there
Yeah.
smoking, and there's signs all around it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna enforce it, the police aren't gonna enforce it, sheriff's officers are gonna enforce it.
So I will say legally, if you do have a policy that is no smoking, you do have to have a sign posted, that is New York State Public Health law. As far as enforcement, that's really up to the municipality. I think enacting a policy or updating code does give you guys the power to enforce if you wish. A lot of municipalities take the stance that signage is kind of like that good first step of enforcement, and then a lot of people kind of self-regulate or self-police. And, you know, if there's a sign on the playground that says no smoking, nobody wants to be a person smoking on the playground. In terms of, you know, really writing citations or ticketing, that is up to the municipality. If they decide to do that, I mean, that's added revenue, but a lot of municipalities don't want to lock down these hardware and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, that is totally, you know, up to the municipality. So I mean, as far as enforcement, it's really up to you guys. I think really the bigger piece to these policies is rather than enforcement and ticketing smokers, you don't want to punish the smoker. You really want to focus on, you know, cessation and then protecting others who do not smoke from secondhand smoke. You know, that takes place every year. A lot of cancer can still have secondhand smoke, you know, that vapor from e-cigarettes is not harmless. It's not just water vapor. There's those 5 different chemicals in the vapor. So really keeping those products in that exposure to a minimum of public outdoor spaces. And then again, you also have the litter issue. So cigarette butts are not biodegradable. That's microplastics. All those chemicals that are in cigarettes are being leached into the ground. And then we're also seeing enforcement's not really the biggest piece here. It's more so creating a community norm of, you know, smoking not being something that youth should look to as, you know, an aspirable adult behavior, really.
All right,
Yeah, we'll just keep in touch with us, and if we
Okay.
can give any assistance, we'll follow up with those policies so that you guys can read them a little bit better, but they have some really great language in them, and I think on municipalities, like,
We've been in communication with Jennifer, so I'm happy to, I can just, if it's good with you, I can just send you copies of those things first.
thank you.
yeah.
All right, moving on with the public forum, is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak to the board? Seeing that there is nobody else, we will close the public forum part of the meeting. All right, requesting town board resolution to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of April 29, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Boco, Yeager,
Yes.
Bus. I
Yes.
did fix the spelling of the name.
Okay.
Thank you, whoever told that.
I saw it,
And I was like, oh, that's it.
but I told Connie.
It's hard to read that sign in chief
Yes.
sometimes.
That's all right, I've known her for years, so I knew who it was, so that, okay. All right, requesting town board resolution to approve the payment of bills from their respective funds.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
Bus.
Yes. Supervisor's monthly report acknowledged and filed. Requesting town board resolution to accept the delinquent lawn mowing quote from EOV Enterprises LLC Lawn Care. You have all 4 of them, I gave you copies of them. Well, I've never heard of these people, and we've never used them before. They are the cheapest. I don't know, we don't do a ton of lawns in a year, so I guess we try them.
Do they have insurance?
Yes. So, like I say, and I mean, if they don't, we'll go back to one of these other people. Like I said, we've never tried it before, so if we have trouble, we tell them, all right, you either gotta do a better job, or we're going to do, what is it, you contract, you, void your contract, or whatever, if you don't. Huh? No, when they don't live up to the terms of the contract.
you would terminate it, yeah,
Yeah, we would.
yeah.
But I'm just trying to figure out what do they call it, they don't live up to the terms of the contract.
But you faulted on the contract.
Yeah,
Free.
breach of contract,
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to think of, thank you.
I don't have a problem as long as they provide proof of insurance and.
Absolutely.
And if that unit price is actually for 100 square foot, as it's bid, it's not paid per square foot. I think I can just double check with them on
Minimum of $40.
Yes.
You're gonna be charging a minimum of 40 no matter how many
Right.
square feet, right?
Right, 'cause but they were the lowest of that too, then the next was minimum of 70 or 75, and then it went up to 120. So they were a lot cheaper than also. Like I said, they were all around the cheapest bid, so. Cheapest isn't always the best, but give them a try, I guess, and we'll see, and if it doesn't work out, then we have to go back. You ever heard of these guys?
I have not heard of them. I also didn't believe this was right, but you should at least like, give them a chance, see how it works out. If it works out great, it's great, if not, we have options to extend. the
Yeah, right,
contract.
terminate the contract and hand it off to another person. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Requesting town board resolution to appoint Eric Weeks to the Conservation Board, filling the open position starting immediately and going, I just found out today, Cheryl's on vacation, so I just found out. When is it? December 31st to 27?
Yes,
It ends, and ends December 31st, because he's filling a position, 2027. I don't know about her when she's on vacation, ask her. We gotta let her know, we figured it out tonight.
Second.
Trevor,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Coco, Geiger,
Yeah.
Haas.
Yes. It was a close vote, really, but we looked at the, opinion of the conservation board. We both voted for the person, and so it's like, you don't want to send them with somebody they don't want to work with either, or may not want to work with, so. I took their opinion into it. All right, reports.
All right. There you go.
Sure.
So, for voting, we set up a public hearing for area variance on 528 Lake Road, Westport. Person wants to set up a fourth accessory structure on this property. We approved a coastal erosion hazard area permit for 5824 Oklahoma Beach Road. We also set up a public hearing for 7546 Sandy Harbor Drive. She needed, she's putting in a generator, which I was calling her. We set up a public hearing for area variance on 1753 Lake Road. We're doing an extension of the existing deck in the rear yard. And we also did right.
So we don't need variances for the generator.
We did for that one.
If we need variance, it will approve with the variances,
So they needed a variance.
Yes, they don't need to go to the coastal erosion because they're in it. But if they need variances, they still have to go through the process.
So we also did a coastal erosion hazard permit for 6328 Shore Acres Drive. We set up a public hearing for an area variance for 1161 Lake Road. And who wants to add a new garage in front of the old one? Well, it wasn't a garage there. It was turned into a living structure, so I want to put a garage. And that's that. Enjoy your dog report.
You're more than welcome to, if you want to talk
about it.
No, that's fine, you
Don't mind.
got it right there.
I don't mind. All right. Total dogs house this month was 7. We adopted 2 dogs and 5 dogs were being the owner. Hamlin received 17 calls. Town of Clarkson, we did 6 trips for the town of Clarkson, 8 for Sweet. And that's it. Anything, I wasn't at the seniors meeting. I know we have a discussion coming up soon about the seniors.
Yes.
So we're gonna do next. I don't know. You were supposed to find out some information, right?
Plan board, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna know by the next board meeting.
Hopefully.
I can talk to him, and he calls, I'm busy, I call, he doesn't answer, so.
All right. Because I don't wanna do anything until we have that.
Oh, absolutely, we need to,
Thanks.
yes. Nope. All
That's
right.
it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mokley.
All right, History Center, floors got done, everything's done, it's ready to move all the stuff back in out of the pod. Mike said they can't get to it until the week after Memorial Day, so unfortunately we have to pause for another month. We need to make it done, that's when the contract renews. So it looks like we're gonna they are gonna help the week of Memorial Day, so I guess that's good. The book's great, if you haven't seen it yet. Now talking about perhaps doing another coat, in there now that we have another month. She said they were really dry and thirsty, so, I don't know, she may want to go over and do another. We do have, I was in touch with Olivia and the Friends of the Library. We have some books there that we might sell at the summer sale at the library. So they have some restrictions on the amount of books and what condition they can be in. So up to 25. So we'll have to go through. There were like 50 to 100 books that we want to get rid of after going through them. That really no need, like some are from other municipalities. We're really trying to like hone it in on Hamlin and get rid of a lot of extraneous stuff that has nothing to do with Hamlin. You know, that people look off because they don't know what that stuff. That's the history center. Mike did send, Bobby, please. Sorry. Can I move that when I'm speaking? So, well, no, it's those people there. I can't hear you. Much louder. I'll read Mike's report on what he has going on. They started recycling Church Road, they start tomorrow, recycling Church Road and then move to North Hamlin at the end of the week and next week. Jump drop off went very well, with some slower than normal days due to the weather. The work order process for things at the town, the new work order process that we implemented, seems to be going well. He believes we have completed everything in a timely manner. Our 2 parks employees are keeping up with the grass on their own, and it's not growing too fast, but I suspect we will need to assist them shortly. Brush pickup's almost over with half a day left. Report. We'll let the assessors give your own report.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. The VFW, the Memorial Day celebration will be the 25th at 11 a.m. There will be a spaghetti dinner on May 31st. All the donations will be going to Honor Flight, and that will be at from like 1 to 4 on the 31st at the VFW. Handbook update, we're going to have another meeting on June 4th. Still only have a few job descriptions turned in. The tree giveaway that we had for the conservation didn't go very well in the pouring rain. And the ambulance, March was slow again, but April picked up. They had 100 calls in April. We have 360 calls year to date. And then just a side note, they changed the legislation day that we were going to have from May to June. So we got the date here.
Okay.
He just let me know a couple hours ago. And that's about it.
Yeah, email to all of us. And,
Yeah.
thank you.
My turn. Planning board for the May 4th meeting. There's a conservation quarter development permit for 6328 Shore Acres Drive for a shed within 100 foot of the lake shore. That was approved. There's a property split for 1050 Hamlet Center Road. That was scheduled for a public hearing for the June meeting. Special use permit for dog breeding on 8 Plain Drive, which was approved. Which actually was just moving the lot line, 123 and 145 Walker Road, which was approved. District meeting, they have 234 calls year to date. They've had 4 or 5 resignations and movement of members to inactive, and this kind of doubles down on the Carmel Fire District also, as far as recruitment and retention. All the companies are struggling for that and getting people to come to calls. Fire districts, so anything we can do to promote that at any time would be good. The Carmel Fire District, but that was the recruitment and retention was a big part of that also.
Are they planning on doing any, like, open house kind of events to recruit that you know of?
Not that I know
They've
of.
done that in the past.
Yes, not that I know of right off the top of my head.
If you do hear of anything like
Yeah.
that, let us know so we can help advertise that.
Absolutely. And then, the library, I'm gonna let Olivia do it in her report, if that's all right, if she wants to do it. Is, I sent you all an email. I got a hold of Elmer Davis Roofing for the, to take a peek at our roof up here. So I met him last Monday. We went up on the roof and looked, it's actually in a lot better shape than I thought it was gonna be. He estimates that it's 17 to 20 years old. He wouldn't suggest doing anything rash on it. It's got another, he figured another 5 to 7 years of life. But around the perimeter, around the edges, there's a lot of cracking that definitely should have some attention to as far as re-caulking. There's the south entrance, the shorter roof, that's come away from the one corner that, I don't know if you look at the pictures, but that's come away from. And then the roof here on the north entrance is a copper roof, and that's also pulled away, so that needs some attention. I don't know, he passed along his estimate, but units are on that. And while we were up there, he did bring, the mortar there's a lot more mortar work to do, brick work to do than roofing work. Part of it is, I forget what the name of it, call it the header, the kind of where the concrete meets the brick. Yeah, I can't remember the name for it specifically, but it should be looked at as far as remortaring at some point. And you could get leakage there coming down the inside. I don't think we have that issue right now, but it's just something to keep in mind as we go forward. And then I asked him for a quote on what it would be 5-7 years. Right now, the replacement of the roof, I think we saw was like $125,000. My feeling there was if we're at some point gonna apply for grants, we gotta know what it's gonna cost us to maintain this building. I think that should be included in whatever grant application we're gonna do, so I thought that purposes for grant. So yeah, we'll revisit that or whatever your thoughts are on that, but that's, it's actually better shape than I thought, so that's good.
I would probably get this summer at least, maybe not right now with the rain and the cooler temperature, maybe get a little warmer. I would say to go with a 3,000 and fix up the cracks and everything, and then, then if he does that, it'll last another 5 or 7 years. You know, 3,000 is cheap for another 5 or 7 years in that roof.
Well, definitely, there are some spots there that need some definite attention. And,
Right.
That's what my recommendation would be. I can line them up. I know they're doing 14 schools in Greece right now, so I would just as soon get on their list the sooner the better.
They might be doing the school stuff first, because they can come in, you know, after the school, a lot of them have to be out before, when the school opens, they have to be
I
done.
would just as soon get on their schedule.
Right, but that's what I mean, and then they can do it after the school start, they can get up in the morning.
They can do that. Not a big deal, but I do think there's some things there that need some attention. The other part of that, which I was gonna talk to Mike, there's a vent, I believe, maybe you know, Steve, I believe it's for a women's bathroom that's plugged. The rest of the vents have got somebody put like a screen over it. Maybe it doesn't have to, maybe it's no longer in use. I don't know. I don't know where it goes exactly. That's not for the roofing company, that's another kind of a separate issue.
Right.
So. Do you want me to?
Make a resolution, if that, is that an official quote from
Is that
them?
an official quote from him that?
Yes.
I would make a resolution to do it, the 3,000 to fix the cracks, and the 3,000. I don't have a sheet in front of me, if you wanna make it and give the exact dollar amount.
Yeah, I can make a resolution to, go with Elmer Davis Roofing in the cost associated with sealing splits and cracking, on the town hall roof and, fixing the south, both the north entrance and the south entrance roofs. The cost was $3,000.
It was 3,000 even?
Yes, that's what his quote was.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Volko? Jaeger?
Yes.
Bus?
Yes. Is that it? All right, our building inspector, sure.
Okay, last month, the department issued 35 permits, which is great. That's like one day or 5 days. You received a permit cost for these a little over $2,600. The valuation of over $606,000 is always good. 7 permits have been closed. There were 236 phone calls into the office, and the department sent out 27 violation notices for various code violations and complaints. And I must say that, I think I've only heard from like two people last time. Everyone's called, very receptive to taking care of their junk and their food.
Building assessor, Liz.
So my tentative role's been finished, posted on our website. So this year, when the state took over the enhanced star and people didn't have to come in anymore, we received our reports from the state to switch those basic people to enhanced. I think we had about 105 residents that switched to enhanced automatically. So that's a good thing. Some of my seniors got letters, and I've had 4 people come in, one came in today, that if these seniors didn't send in their income, that the state's gonna take away the exemption. So the seniors thought that if they came in with me and did the limited income senior, they were covered on both ends, and they weren't. So they have to contact the state. I have been assisting people that bring the letters in to contact them, but it's really important that if they get something from New York State, that they do it. It's different than what we do here in-house. Me and Dale have been working on retention. We've got at least 3/4 of it done. I've probably thrown away at least 12, 14 boxes that were in the basement. So it's been a work in progress. We have been putting a lot of time into that. Today we were working on that in the morning, then we were out in the afternoon going through the waterfront. I did half of my waterfront this morning, doing some data collecting on that, checking seasonal homes versus year-round homes. I'm gonna finish that up on Friday.
Okay, thank you. Our librarian.
Just a couple things to bring to your attention or remind you of. We have a few spaces left in the Narcan training, which is Thursday, May 21st at 6 p.m. So you can sign up at the library's website or give us a call. Also, as was mentioned before, our Friends of the Library book sale is coming up Thursday, June 4th from 10 to 7, Friday the 5th from 10 to 3, and Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 1. That's what I have.
Thank you.
I do want to add to the report some good news. I can find it here. The library's the telephone bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down to $75 a month.
Wow.
So that's,
Yes,
that was a bright spot in the report last year. for
yes,
sure.
it's
So,
very exciting.
Town clerk, and Joan.
I have nothing. National Day of Prayer went great. The weather was wonderful, so that was nice.
Too chilly, but it wasn't raining.
I had nobody come in to register their dogs after the rabies clinic, but I'm sure there was, and I know it started late. And maybe with all the other commotion, maybe I don't know. So, next year.
It started out late.
Yeah, I know, I heard.
They weren't happy.
What? The vaccines.
Joan didn't bring the vaccine.
Oh, wow.
Robin?
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
They went back, yeah. Rest of all. All right, I see we have a couple of other members here, though. Do we have any report from the conservation department?
Yeah, I just quickly want to say, Irondequoit and Sodus Bays are both doing walleye tagging. So if you know anybody who fishes, or if you yourself fish, bring the heads to the collection bins on Sodus and Irondequoit Bays for the DEC.
Okay, thank you. Our zoning, is there anything?
No, Joel covered it all. Did a great job, Joel.
Great. Like I said, we had our National Day of Prayer out front. That went very well. Thanks to the ladies. And I think Pastor Jim helped them a lot with that. As, you know, we've been working a lot here. Goes up on the roof. I've been working with grant people some more about the dog shelter and different grants. Grants opened up last week for playground equipment in New York State. So we were talking about that. Some of that equipment like that, Kaylee gave us before to BYO or whatever. I showed her that sheet. She says that,
Sounds really like
yeah, but it's not state bid. She said, I can get you a lot better price than this, but that is, I guess they have a program, and I didn't know it either. She told me they got a program for state bid prices. She said, I'll look into it and see what I can find for you. So. And just do everything, you know, do the normal day-to-day stuff here. All right then, discussion. Just some, our zoning workshop is next Thursday at 7. And, you know, I want to talk about, our, okay. We're gonna,
Sorry, 21st.
the 21st at 7, next Thursday. And we're gonna try and finish up, hopefully, our, solar zoning law. So that's, because then, as our clerk reminded me today, we were talking about it, and I said, yeah, get it done, because then we gotta put a public hearing for it.
Right.
So we'll try to get it in our June meeting. And we're gonna work on the, junks law a little bit, see if that's done, or see if we can finish that. And maybe we're just gonna discuss a little bit, or I can tonight. We need to work on, and I'll have to get Mike in on that also, a sewer law. People as well tap in this. We already let one lady tap in. Kind of wrote up, by her leach field died, or went, and so we let a lady on a walker like a trailer a little bit, our main that goes up to the thing. Because people can tap into that, so we let her do it, but we need to write up a complete law on that. Figure out a price we're gonna charge people and stuff like that. We had a pretty good start at it, ton of farmers has them too, and we're just about exactly the same on what we do with, as far as that's the lakeshore sewer. So we'll follow a lot of theirs, just add our little touches in there, so.
They don't need to farm their own district?
We do.
It's
Well,
only
no,
people on that one
no.
road, right? Or they got, they're gonna be on Walker.
I don't know,
They don't form their own districts, they're out of district.
yeah, out of district usage, that's right.
Yeah.
What's that, Joe, I'm sorry?
So it's only the Walker,
It's only Walker Lake Ontario, yes.
Only where they can tap into it, and it only can be for, you can only take so much, so once you, and MRB would tell you how many they can take. Once you've got that, you can't take any more, you can't overtax the system.
Right.
Yeah.
But, so we gotta get something written up formally for that. We had an emergency situation. And we got it through, I wrote a letter and stuff, and JP helped me with it, so we got it through. I said, there's zoning workshop, oh, roof. I got a quote for the roof, because we've been missing shingles for 2 years at the bottom over there, at the history library. I mean, like 20 shingles. And it's been patched like 2 different times since it was put on. The wood is just rotted, it won't hold nails. So, DJW, people who did the work on the History Center itself, saw it, just gave me a quote to re-shingle the roof.
So that's not gonna, isn't that like sinking?
It's sinking, they're not gonna fix the sinking. This price quote that I gave you is not for fixing the sinking, it's just, and maybe he can do a little bit less than this too. He just gave me a quote for the whole roof. Maybe he can just do part of it where it's actually when the shingles are blown off, when the wood's so rotted it won't even hold nails anymore. I just let you know that we haven't looked at it. Water's pouring through it, it's dropping away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it or not, because the roof, because it is sinking like that, it's pushing out if you go over there, especially on the stone wall to the east. I'm just trying to make sure I say it. Yeah, the stone wall to the east, the actual stone wall, because the roof is pushing on it, actually folds out,
Yeah,
I bet
that's
you
on
like
the-
6 inches.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Is there any warranty with the?
No, not anymore. It's been fixed twice on one. Not anymore.
People are doing that.
So, I don't, like I say, at 17,500 to put everything on the whole roof, I could maybe talk to him again and see if he would just patch it, or maybe highway or somebody else would just patch up where the shingles are missing, and save that little bit right now, or do we not do anything?
Did we talk to anybody and how to actually fix that?
Well, yeah, because the one guy I had, but he's so busy, he can't. Because they have to tie it and then stretch it out, right, and then do it like that way.
He looked at it, he said, everything is so wet and hard like that, he said you'd almost have to take out piece by piece. He's right, pull it back in, but take out, because you're never gonna get those things go straight again.
I mean, how long?
So you replace one of those at a time.
Keep this going. That's what I'm saying.
I don't-
Just let it collapse and it's not, you can.
Can they just, yeah, can we just move that and just?
You can, you can take
Probably
the
better
whole,
off just taking it out.
you can take that all off and put rafters on, yeah. Go, you find somebody, put brand new rafters on there, brand new. No, I just giving you options.
It costs you $100,000.
Oh, yes,
The way it should be, where it's actually used.
because then you're gonna
You
find,
can put a hole back.
right, because then you gotta find somebody like from, where's it? 43 something, 43.
Well, we wouldn't do it like we, but if we don't use it, it'll build.
No, I mean, but I'm just telling you, once you fix the roof, then the doorway, you can't even put a door on it, close it, you gotta do a whole bunch of stonework and everything. At that, Medina sandstone, yes.
We either become proactive and just take it out completely, or we just let it.
It would be a,
It's that roof on there right now, it's on 6 feet, so that's no big.
right.
So you can. Start over.
No, metal building would be a lot cheaper than trying to fix this. Absolutely.
We could paint on from the drive.
I don't think it's worth it to replace the whole roof if it's not gonna fix the bowing, that seems like throwing
Right.
money.
It's
The
not.
highway can replace it, you know, put some wood in on the inside so you can get shingles to hold, to get you through a few years. That would be, to me, that would be the way to do it.
Maybe, I mean, you probably gotta put maybe just tear up a few more shingles and nail a piece of plywood up top. Because if the beams are underneath, so I don't know how you're gonna do it underneath. Put a, tear off a few more shingles, put a piece of plywood up top, and, cause that would hold on to the nails, and it's, that's what you say if the wood's so rotted, when you keep the nails.
I mean, it's sad, I think. We should put it in the building.
I was talking to one of the history committee members about it, and so because that parcel and the schoolhouse is on the National Historic Registry, I think we could stretch it to say, since the barn's on the same parcel, because confirmed from me they're all on one,
I think we did, yeah.
that, that makes a lot of more grants available, because it is on the National Historic Registry, so perhaps we could start looking into maybe getting some grant money to repair that piece, that building, that structure, it's on the same parcel as on the registry. I mean, I think that would be.
The only thing when you do that, then we're not being fiscally responsible. That means we're taking grant money, which is sort of money from someplace, right? That's what it is.
Right.
And you're using it for that purpose.
No,
It is, just because you get money.
We need storage, I mean, the history center.
I would
needs
agree, get
storage
money,
space.
I would agree.
I agree they need storage, but also then I going with what Joel is saying.
Yeah, just like.
You're never gonna fix that building up. You did put a more, maybe put a heated section in
Well,
Put
yeah,
some-
it's probably $100,000.
there. Insulate a portion of that barn, put heated in there, you can store stuff inside in there too. Is there excess or whatever? You're never gonna do that in an old.
Because sometimes grants seem like they're free, they're not free. It's money that was out there for something, and it's not used this good.
Yeah, it's for historic buildings, it's exactly for this reason, it's to preserve historic buildings.
I think if it wasn't,
Very-
for the 7 cars to drive by it, that, I don't know.
Well, but, I mean, we would make it a usable storage facility and keep its historic value. It's a beautiful barn, I think.
Well,
Does it have a metal roof on
No,
No.
No.
I think if you,
there's
if you're gonna go down that
possums living
road,
in there.
Jennifer, I think
it?
the
Oh, look,
the
there's
thing to do
families, critter families.
Oh, yes.
To get it where it's one and done, it's fixed the
Well,
right
yeah,
way.
like a huge renovation.
Yes.
You go in there,
And then,
hear the
that's the
clawing
only
and
way
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
get
get around, is to know exactly where it's gonna go. And I don't know who you'd even call to fix it. I don't know who would do it. Myself. Maybe there is, I'm sure there is something. I don't know who would do it.
You have to call somebody like that, but that's sandstone, somebody who does it kind of with,
I'm sure.
to
people out
fix,
there
to
do
fix
it.
the walls. But it could be cheap. You don't have to make a decision tonight, I was just bringing it up. Is there any other discussion then?
Did we get a report from the fire marshal?
He, not right now, he's gonna come to the next meeting, he's gonna be here this one, he'll come to the next one.
Well, it's just a written report.
When he comes here, he gives it, he's been giving it verbally.
I know. Should have documentation.
We will, his next one, we'll have.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Today when I was down the Beechwood Parkway, a resident came up and asked me about the sewer district in Kendall that is crossing over Beechwood Parkway. And he said it was supposed to be done at the end of last year, but now it's extended until the end of this year. So my question is when they're tapped in, do they contact me so I can put them on the bill, or do they contact Monroe County? How does that work?
You would think Kendall was a lead town. You would think Kendall would contact you.
Okay, because nobody has contacted me. When he said today, they'll be hooking in soon, I was like,
I don't know if everything's ready. I know the main line is in, but is the pump down there by the park entrance up and running?
I guess that's a phone call.
Yeah, that's Kendall.
okay, I was just wondering.
No, you're fine, that's a good question. Anything else? All right, requesting town board resolution to enter into executive session for matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation.
Cravett,
Yeah.
Wright,
Yes.
Boco, Jaeger.